I want to talk about another tragedy, this one playing out not just today, but over many, many years now, which is that of the migrant crisis in Europe. Yet another boat, death toll risen to 64 right now, lost at sea off the coast of Italy, what's being called, and I quote, the Voyage of Death. We know that smugglers were charging some 8,000 euros apiece to get a ride on that boat. And I'm wondering to what extent you agree with what we're hearing from European leaders, that the most humane thing to do is to stop migrants from risking their lives in the first place. How do you respond to these tragedies?
Well, I think that you have to respond before they happen. Look, the big picture is not just a European picture, it's an American picture as well, which is that more people are on the move than ever before. And more people are on the move for, if you like, political reasons, not just economic reasons. Political in the sense of they're fleeing persecution, they're fleeing war, or they're fleeing disaster. And that's evidently true in Europe for people fleeing from the Middle East and North Africa. It's true in the US for people fleeing from the Northern Triangle of countries, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, but also 5 million refugees from Venezuela, etc. And both Europe and America face the challenge of richer countries, which is how do you distinguish between refugees on the one hand and immigrants on the other? A refugee is someone who has no home to go to. An immigrant is someone who's choosing to leave their home. How do you balance fairness with humanity to make sure that you are fulfilling legal as well as moral obligations for people who've been driven from their homes? And how do you balance international responsibility with local responsibility? My recipe for that involves the following elements. Element one, you have to have fast processing of asylum claims. If you don't have fast processing of asylum claims, America's taken an example, 2, 3, 4 years to process an asylum claim because there's a backlog of over 1 million people in the immigration courts. You can't do justice and you can't achieve fairness or humanity. Secondly, those who are allowed to stay needs to be properly integrated into the society, above board, given training, given language, tuition, able to participate fully in society. Those who fail the test obviously can't stay. Third element of this is to recognize that there's a very strong criminal element that's exploiting the absence of legal routes to get into Europe or America. And in Europe, we've got very good evidence of this. There isn't an EU agreement on its asylum and migration package. And so there aren't safe and legal routes to flee from persecution or disaster. That just plays into the hands of the people smugglers. And I think they were in your mind in some of the way you phrased your question. The fourth element that I think is important is that you have to have legal routes to asylum and to immigration. The Biden administration has made a nod towards this in its pledge that 30,000 people a month from Haiti, Venezuela, etc., 4 countries in total, will be allowed into the United States if they're able to register before they arrive. And so those are some of the components that are necessary in addressing what I think is going to be the challenge for the rest of this century, frankly, because we know from the data, the econometric data, that in countries of less than $7,000 a head, people are going to want to leave.